Soup, soup, let's start the show.
Welcome to the Neverdaily podcast. I'm your host, Hosty McHost the Most. And with me today,
Old Man Van Skittles.
Old Man I was going to give you a Russian name, Kartoffel. Wait, no, no, your name's not Kartoffel. That means potato. So never mind, your name's not potato. We already have a potato in the back door.
That's a constant fight me and my wife have because I want to name our first kid Old Man Van Skittles. I just saw a screenshot once of a book, and that was literally a character's name, Old Man Van Skittles, and I was like, no, that's going to be the name of my kid, Old Man Van Skittles. I don't care if he's 3 years old. I'll just Old Man Van Skittles. Old Man Van Skittles Ellerman.
Someone has Riverside open in other tabs. I don't know who's that. Is it me?
I think I probably do.
Oh,
yeah, because every time I click Join Studio,
yeah.
it opens a new tab, but I'm
Oh.
not even going to touch it because
Weird.
it will probably break something.
Yeah, it'll break. It'll break something. Have you ever seen that commercial? It's from the era I would call the original internet. You know what I'm talking about? Like Vine, some people would say Vine. Vine is like original internet. I wouldn't say Vine is. I'd say Vine is like original viral video internet. But original internet. You know what? You should close that tab because we're just going to keep getting that alert. And if it breaks, you can just come back. Because here's the thing, Chase. You can have faith in the fact that if you disappear, I could keep talking
forever.
Or as she says on Best in Show, the gold digger beauty lady who's married to a 1,000-year-old man. We have the best days. We eat soup. We could talk or not talk for hours.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, do it. Let's see if you disappear. Chase went to the danger zone.
They even gave me like a Google Chrome thing. It was like, are you sure you want to do this? And
Are
I
you
said
sure?
yes.
And look, you're still here.
And I'm still here.
It's like the high dive. It might be somebody else because I keep getting the alert still. Anyway, who cares? Nobody. Fun fact, Chase, you want to know a really fun fact?
I always like fun facts.
Did you know that a buttload is an actual unit of measurement?
Yeah. Whose butt are we measuring?
It harkens back, yea verily, to a time when things were in casks and barrels, and a buttload is actually it's a barrel of 128 gallons of something.
I learned the other day that we've mislabeled the dashboard in a car because a dashboard comes from horse and carriage, and it was a board they put up to keep the mud flying off the hooves into the driver's face. And so technically, a fender well would be more of a dashboard because it's keeping the mud from the tires from flying up, right?
Yeah.
And so like a fender well would actually be more correct to call that a dashboard than what we call in our car, like the dash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally just a board that kept crap from hitting you in the face from the horse's hooves.
Can I tell you, on the same, you just brought up, I'm so autistic. Because I love that fact, and I love those types of things. Because now if you rewound the video from just now, you're talking, and anyone that knows me looks at my face and goes, he's not listening.
Because you were thinking of something else.
I already absorbed everything you're saying, and I'm going to use it at the next barbecue. But my autistic brain went to fender well, and I was like, oh, makes me so mad. I have a list of shirts designs that I want to do and that I used to hope to want to do for flash sales and stuff. I don't think I'm ever going to do a flash sale again, by the way, just to let you know.
At least not with your shirt on.
Yeah, maybe without. And I'm not saying that to like ho-hum or anything like that. It's just like there's so much work that goes into them, and the sales has gone down I think
To
it's
use
because
professional language, is the ROI is just not there.
you know what it is. It's this is when like your niece or your nephew or someone is like, "Hey, I'm selling chocolate bars for my track team," and you do it, and then two other nieces and nephews are like, "Hey, I'm selling Christmas wreaths, or do you want the apple of the month?" You know, uh but they keep coming to you, and so the pool of people to sell to in a family, you get kind of worn out. You're like,
Yeah.
I can only support so many track teams. And I've felt that way for a while about flash sales. It's like, I'm just marketing to the same, you know, it's a numbers game, people.
Yeah.
I'm marketing flash sales because Facebook is the worst. I have not 8,000 followers on 911's group. I post and it gets 128 post reach.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
Because they're like, pay me. They're like, it's a free service, but it won't work unless you pay me money.
Oh, and then if you pay them money, they'll only give you a couple more hundred or 1,000 maybe. If you like, if I'd have to pay $150 to reach another 1,000 of my own people. Oh, fun fact, I also can't anymore. You can't you can't boost a post just for your group. You try to create an ad, and they're like, well, we'll advertise it to people that we believe our algorithm says are like the people in your group. I'm like, they're the ones that know soup. Why would I try to advertise that to an outside group? They're not going to get it. I'm wasting my money. You're idiots. And so Facebook sucks. I've got 8,000 people locked in like some dumb tide pool there. I can't communicate with them. Oh, there's also Facebook group chats. Have you seen this? Where it dumps into Messenger and you can create chats now. Well, chats for your groups and stuff. Except for I'm happy bumbling along, create a chat for 911 and it's got, I don't know, 8.5 people in it. There's a paraplegic. But all of a sudden I get an alert in there that's like, Facebook chats is going away soon. I'm like, what the fudge? It's like, you can't win for losing.
It's because
Anyway.
people were getting marketing and not having to pay $10,000 to do it, so they're getting rid of it.
Yeah, well, and they're like, uh-oh, we allowed an instant communication mechanism. Got to shut it down. And so I realized, and I kind of apologized to the people that might be listening that felt abused by every flash. So they're like, another flash? I don't want another 1159 shirt. Thanks. But that brings me to my point. I'm heartbroken because I have a lot of designs that I want to put out there, but it's not worth putting out so that 3 people buy it because of the work that goes into creating it, right? But I have one. It's been sitting there forever. It came up somewhere on an old podcast. I can't remember. And instantly I was like, that's got to be a shirt. It's sort of in line with the shirt I designed for History Goon, the surveillance shirt, I love that. It's a play on words. It's funny. It doesn't take a lot of brain power when you see it to maybe chortle in the, line at the grocery store. You're like, that's funny. I've got another one like that, and I feel in my heart, spirit, mind, soul, heart, spirit that I should do it, but I don't think anybody would buy it. But I want to do a Inner Fenderwell shirt, and it's like a Lord of the Rings play knockoff. Inner Fenderwell. Inner Fenderwell's either a hobbit, or it's a wizard or an elf, or it's just a place. It's like a castle, and underneath it says Inner Fenderwell. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
I did a whole bunch of designs for Halloween, and now it's the 14th, and there's no way I could get them out the door in time. But I did I think I mentioned it. I did an Easy Bake Coven shirt. I saw somebody else did an Easy Bake Coven shirt, and I'm like, I could do a better design than that. So I did one, and then now it just sits on my hard drive. I did a Phoebe shirt from Wednesday, where he's like, most people have FOMO, and she's like, I have phobia, fear of being included.
Yeah, that's me.
But anyway, there's some more complaining. We should just call this show Sam complains about stuff. I've also thought about, you know how we can make this, the Neverdaily, a more consistent show, is if we were to implement what I would call the substitute teacher mode, which is we don't show up. It just is, it's maybe a bot or maybe just somebody, and they're like, welcome to the Neverdaily podcast. Today we're watching a movie. And then it just starts.
When I was growing up, the guy lived across the street. He had been a teacher for like 40 years and he was retired, but he would get called in randomly, as a substitute teacher, and you knew it was going to be a movie, and you knew he would be asleep within the first 5 minutes.
Heck
And like
yeah.
you could feel safe in just getting up and leaving class, like because he would be asleep for the entire period.
Yeah.
And then the bell would ring and he would wake up, and like he wouldn't even, like he did not care. Like he's like, I've been doing this for 40 years. I do not care anymore. So that he was always our favorite substitute. It was just like, wait 5 minutes, he falls asleep, you go to lunch early.
All the kids, all the boyfriends and girlfriends that are in ROTC love it because they're like, once those lights are out, we're procreating. He won't even notice.
And
I
he
don't know
wouldn't
why.
too.
Did that ever happen like with you? Like the ROTC kids that were dating were always like, it seemed like sexual assault almost at school. They're like pawing each other. They're always on each other's laps, fondling each other. It was like way too much. What is that called? Public display of affection.
Yeah.
But it was always the ROTC kids. I don't know why.
In my school, all of the ROTC kids, there was only one girl in all of the ROTC, and she could have beat up half the other boys in ROTC, so there wasn't a lot of that going on.
Yeah. I don't even know if they have ROTC anymore.
There was only like 6 or 7 kids in like my whole high school in Arizona that did it. They called it JROTC.
Yeah, JROTC.
But yeah, it was just, there was only like 6 or 7 kids, and they were all of the kids, their parents were military. So that was the only kid. And then there was the one kid who like really wanted to be military, but he thought it was like he was going to be a Navy SEAL, but he weighed like 72 pounds and had like severe asthma and like scoliosis. There was that kid, but yeah, we didn't really have a big JROTC program at my school.
I've stopped judging people by their looks when it comes to things like strength. I follow a guy on Instagram. Apparently he's like a champion in pull-ups. And every time I watch him, you'd see him. Hold on. I have a fly on my hand.
It's daring you at that point.
Why? Every time I start.
He was trying to get you to electrocute yourself with your little fly swatter.
So annoying. But the guy that I follow, he's so sorry. Give me 1 second. Got him.
Probably smells wonderful now.
Yeah. Anyway, I follow him, and he's so unassuming. Like, seriously, not muscle bound. And you think about it, you're like, okay, but also like check out rock climbers. They're not muscle bound. This guy is like, he's so forgettable when it comes to his physique. But he's like, today we're going to be showing off, we're going to be focusing on elbow strength. And he'll just like reach up to the bar, grab it with one arm and be like, "Rrr." And then he'll talk to you while he's pulled up with one arm.
Yeah.
Like,
with no strain in his voice.
No. And he's like pointing to the muscles as he's like pulled up on the bar. He's like, the bar's on his forehead, and he's like, right around here is the metropolitan fiscus muscle. I'm like, what the heck? So I just follow him because it's crazy.
You're not even doing pull-ups. You're just confused at how he can do them so easily.
Yeah. Boy, the algorithm, though, you got to watch it. Like I've been going to the gym a lot more. And so I'll see something I'm like, oh, that's a good alternate way to do that thing. And so I'll like spend too long on that. I'll just stare at it too long. And the algorithm's like, we found another. He's in love with us. He's in love with this one. So then from then forward, like the algorithm is like, Sam is 1 part podcaster, 2 parts injured rotator cuff. and it's like over. It's
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
I
You
hate
gotta
it.
go find the one pages though that do the algorithm cleanses.
I've thought about just creating a podcast / social media account that it's just algorithm cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
Like the podcast just goes over things that cleanse your brain from politics and whatever your algorithm's into, and then an associated social media account where you can put all that stuff and then have people follow it.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess that would just be called every other social media account that is an algorithm cleanser.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was just happy when I found out, like on like Instagram and stuff. Not that I even use it that much. You can go do a reset.
yes,
You can just
I've
go
done
in
it.
and you can do a reset, and it'll start fresh, and then you can go search for the things you actually want to see, and
Yep.
then you're off to the races, starting over.
There's one I don't like it because I'm not quite sure it's 100% foolproof, because there's still the algorithm knows how long you sit there, right? Like when you're on Discover, like the little search button, and you're seeing a bunch of stuff from people you don't follow, it may be showing you 3 to 5 blocks at a time when you're doom scrolling, right? It's not one after another.
Mm-hmm.
So you're seeing a whole bunch of tiles, but the algorithm knows, okay, well, there's 6 tiles on the screen, but this one's the most centered.
Yeah.
So I think he really likes boobs, And so you got to be really careful. So the other part of that, though, is if you touch and hold on a tile, you can say not interested,
Mm-hmm.
and then tell it why, and it'll show you less of that. But I'm suspicious because on Instagram in particular, when you do that, it maximizes it maximizes the post you're not interested in, right?
Yeah.
And so it's almost like it's like peeking. It's like, I want to look at that one, but I don't want the algorithm to think I'm interested in diesel
So you
overhaul.
just start like moving your thumb up and down just a little bit. So
Yeah,
it's like you're
yeah.
not sitting still.
Yeah, you sit there and you dance with it when you're trying to like watch the
Yeah.
the
The other
things
problem
we
is
do.
is that some of those algorithms are stupid because the people who make them don't really, a lot of them don't care about sports. So it's like you have those teams that you hate, right?
Yeah,
And you're like, I want to say not interested, but then I won't see all of college football. It will go away.
right.
When in reality, I just don't want to see like these certain
I don't want to see
teams.
the Eagles.
Yeah, it's like I just don't want to see these teams, but I
Right.
want to see the other teams. But it's that's where they get stupid because they just lump it all into one thing. It's like I don't want to see posts about the Yankees
Yeah,
because like I don't like the Yankees, but I do want to still see baseball. But it can't tell the difference.
no.
Like it's just
Yeah.
stupid. It's stupid in that way.
I will say this. I don't know. It's kind of amazing to me because Instagram, I'd put at number 2 as far as understanding me the most,
Mm-hmm.
because it feeds me the things that it knows that I'm precisely interested in. I gotta say though, I think Facebook Reels has it dialed into the abstract of what it thinks I'm interested in, and it is very accurate.
Mm-hmm.
It shows me a lot of diversity that seems like a wider window around. They're like, no, it's kind of like saying, well, if you liked the Halloween movie series, you'd also like, and then you refer them to a movie that is like outside of horror,
Mm-hmm.
but you're like, there's vibes to it that you'd get. And you're like, yeah, I don't know why you paired those two together, but you were totally right. Facebook's algorithm for Reels is more that way. I don't know why they're so good at it. There's still things that are like mind-numbingly annoying. Like, I really like watching Caitlin Clark, no pun intended, dunk on everybody. I think it's great. But along with that comes the Caitlin Clark,
Hate her.
Sid the Sloth rivalry, whatever. What's her name? Angel Reese.
Oh yeah, the Mrs. I can't make a layup.
Dude,
To save
she's
my life.
so bad. Okay, yeah. So now my reels are genius. Like, let's recommend these things to Sam. Plus, just supercuts of Angel Reese bricking it. It's like she goes up for another one, bang!
Hits
that's
the
all
bottom
I
of the
get.
backboard over and
Oh.
over and over and. Well,
But
yeah, anyone can score 12 points when you shoot it 80 times a game.
Oh, I love that. I love the new term. I don't know if it's a new term. I don't follow a lot of sporting things, but I love that they've really made the term hers the me bound. I love it because she goes for a layup, misses it, gets her own rebounds.
Yeah.
She has the highest me bounds in the league. I love that. Oh boy. Um, hey, how about something from our friends over at This Is True?
Okay.
You know what I like saying? Well, you know why I like saying that?
Why?
Because This Is True doesn't even know we exist. But when you say from our friends at This Is True, it makes you sound like, you've got friends
Yeah.
and that they care. Like I could say that. And now let me tell you something from our friends over at the Joe Rogan podcast. It just feels like they know you. Anyway, check this one out. This is funny. David Creamer's death was an accident, ruled an investigator from the British Columbia, Canada Coroner's Service. Quote, "They told us he had fallen and hit his head," said his daughter, Taylor. "It wasn't really adding up because he was on the couch. And if he had fallen, why was he on the couch?" The same coroner said Julia Howe's death. The same coroner said Julia Howe's death the same day in Creston, an hour and a half from Creamer's couch, was also an accident. Howe subsequently had an autopsy, and a medical examiner determined the actual cause of death. Oh, was the bullet he found in Howe's skull.
Oh.
A man has now pleaded guilty to killing both Creamer, who had once been his friend, and Howe, who was connected to his landlord. Police claim that while committed to a hospital, the man confessed. British Columbia uses administrators, not doctors, as coroners. Oof! Well, it looks like he fell down. Looks like he fell.
I'm going to use all of my MBA here and tell you my medical opinion. Because M stands for medical, right? In the MBA.
Yeah.
Medical Business Administration. That's what I am in.
We started, my wife's not going to be able to hang for this one, but we started the monster. I know. I zapped it, but it only zapped it once.
Oh,
and
you
it
didn't
usually has
cook
to go, has to sizzle for a little bit. We started watching the Netflix Monster Ed Gein one.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Monster series. And I was telling she's like, you know the story, right? And I'm like, actually, like, Kent did it, I think, and Jack might have done it, and I think I was on both of the podcasts, but I don't know why. I'm not an encyclopedic resource when it comes to the standard bread and butter killer types. And so as the thing's playing out, I'm like, yeah, I don't really remember. We're in episode 1, and at one point I'm like, I have maybe the show Psycho was based on Ed Gein, because she's like, why? And I said, well, I think like in Psycho, he digs up his mom and keeps her upstairs and she talks to him. And then it sort of played out like that with Ed Gein, but I'm like, I'm still not sure but she's not going to be able to hang. Like it got too creepy,
Mm-hmm.
There's like the death plus sex,
Yeah.
nuance. It's too much. It's too much for her.
Yeah, I got to see some of the stuff that he used to own. His pot he used to cook stuff in, like body parts to make like leather and stuff. Yeah, there's a anyone watch the show Ghost Adventures? I don't really watch it, but that guy who does it, the Zach Bagans dude, has a haunted museum in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And like I used to live right next to Las Vegas, so one time we went over there and toured his little museum, and he has a lot of cool stuff. Like he's a weird dude, like, and his show's weird, but he is a like legitimate collector of like cool stuff.
The macabre.
Yeah, and so like he had Ed Gein's pot, big old kettle pot that he used to like process things in and body parts and stuff, and he has one of his shovels that he used to dig dig up the bodies with. So he just has he has a bunch of serial killer stuff. He has the murder van, the suicide van, the Kevorkian's van,
Angie
his
in the back door
minibus.
says he has the real Annabelle.
Yeah, it was out on loan when I was there, but he has a couple other haunted dolls. He has the Divik box,
Oh,
they've even made a movie about that. So I
yeah.
saw that. He has like a mirror uh that was like in the room where like Bela Lugosi died. He has the chair Michael Jackson's doctor used to sit in when he would shoot him up with the drugs.
Wow.
He
Weird
has
collection.
who was it? Was it Kurt Russell? I think it was Kurt Russell. No, Patrick Swayze. Like he went kind of weird at the end and was like super into like Wicca and stuff. And so he has a wand. He has Patrick Swayze's wand that he made with his molar attached
Really?
to it as the power source. So he just has he has some paintings from the clown killer Gacy. He has Charles Manson's teeth because inmates stole it from him in jail and mailed it out.
What?
So he
Wait,
has
they
his
stole
dentures.
Charles Manson's teeth?
They stole his dentures.
Ah, what?
And so he has a set of dentures that were Manson's. So he just has a bunch of stuff that he's collected over the years.
It's like Ripley's Believe It or Nah, I'm okay.
Yeah. He has some old Vegas memorabilia, like rigged tables rigged roulette tables where he's peeled back the felt and you can see the magnets and stuff in it. And just
Let
a
me
lot
ask
of cool stuff.
I want to ask you a question. Because you have one of the most intriguing brains that I've come across, where like your ability to recall associative information about people that most people like that'd be what you just said is kind of like me saying my buddy Paul, who I hunt with, he's got, and then I could spend the next 8 minutes telling you like an entire list of things, right? Like your ability to recall that kind of stuff is like next level. Let me ask you this. Does your brain ever just sit idle
No,
tabulating things about people you know?
my brain's never idle.
You're you're
I had
you're
a doctor one time describe it as, he had to describe it in car terms, even though I'm not very good with cars. My
yeah.
brain is constantly redlining. He's like,
Oh,
he's like, you have one of those brains where
yeah.
your brain is constantly in the redlining zone.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's how he explained why I sometimes have like panic attacks and anxiety and stuff. Is because he's like, your brain never stops.
But your
And so he's
panic
like,
attacks never
you wind yourself, you're constantly wound up all the time.
yeah.
And so, yeah, that's just my brain.
I've never seen you have a panic attack. I know you
Kind
well
of
enough where I
nasty.
feel like I know when we're like in the mode of your brain where you're like, okay, good to talk to you. I'm going to go melt down now. Like
Mhm.
I've been in those modes with you where I know that like in our conversation before that we had where I told you something new and quite pivotal.
Mhm.
Did that panic you?
No, um, not really. I've been trying to focus on being a better listener, and so
Sorry, what did you say?
yeah.
Get it.
So that
This
means
is
like
the
not trying
whole
not to cut people off as much. It's part of my tism,
Oh.
and so like I just try to, I've been focusing on being better listener. And yes, Cassie, it makes falling asleep nearly impossible at times. I was up till 2 a.m. last night. I went to bed at 11, and I just laid there for 3 hours, tossing and turning, and
Do
finally
you,
fell asleep.
do you are you on your phone too, or do you
Nope,
just lay there?
I just lay there, and I
Poor
just hope that
Chase.
I'll eventually get tired, and then I'll eventually fall asleep.
Oh, Chase, Chase,
Yeah,
Chase.
I probably should be medicated, but last time I didn't like it.
Well, I have to, there's something there where like I've tried to medicate some of my isms and OCs, and I'm not a doctor. I just play one. But most of the time, like I don't feel like it's it's connecting the loose wires. I feel like it's like, well, I can't do anything about the loose wires, but I could give you some more wires
Yeah.
that bypass that thing that's probably critical, but I'm going to bypass it and just go, I'm going to go right from like your stomach to energy, and we're going to bypass everything, and so
Uh-huh.
I feel high, or I feel like, in a different state, and then the come down is just as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not good on any kind of methylphenidate or any kind of anything like that, because it wears off over time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, like over months. And the come down, I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. Yeah. So I'm kind of with like, I'm trying to be better about not ruminating. It's my thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't let myself be idle. One of the things that I do professionally is I think about everything I should do, not do,
Mm-hmm. I do that a
And so
lot.
I'm trying to just robotically walk right into the next thing I'm doing, and then have my hands start doing it before my brain catches up. Because my brain is always like, wait, we haven't thought this through. We
Yeah.
haven't, you're going to screw it all up. You're going to screw it up. And I realize that I screw it up just as much as I would have had I thought about it for 3 days,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's been times I had a conversation with my wife once, and it was about like going back to school, and she's like, "Oh, you should do this," and I'm like, "Yeah, but the way my brain works is I'd have to learn the whole thing before I went to school to learn the thing."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's how my brain is. I'm like, "No, I have to learn the whole thing by myself, and then I can go do school." And she's like, "That's what school's for." And I'm like, "No, you don't understand. I need to know everything about the thing before I even learn about the thing."
Yeah.
And then like there's sometimes like I have I'll ruminate, I'll run through scenarios in my head that haven't even happened, and they won't happen, right? And I know they won't happen, and yet I get anxiety about those things that are not going to happen.
Yeah.
And then I say those aren't, and then I try to tell myself those aren't going to happen, and I go, then the other side of my brain goes, but they might.
Yep.
And I have to be prepared for with it if and when it does. And that's why some people with like, undiagnosed ADHD or people on the spectrum, that's why when bad things happen, some people just are cool, calm, and collected. Like, I'm one of those people.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, how do you do that? And I go, because I've already ran this scenario 5 times through my head. I know what to do already. And that's part of my overthinking is like, sometimes when shit literally hits the fan, I'm just like, I'm calm for the first time in my life, because I'm like, oh, this is exactly what I've planned for 12 times.
There's something, I'll deactivate my sense of worry by trying to reminisce about the last time I was like, okay, I can't even see to the end of the day. You're talking about things in the 1st of November and it's the middle of October. I can't even see the end of the day. I can't see myself to the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go, hey, dummy, remember that last insurmountable thing where you couldn't see to the end of XYZ period of time? And look at you, where you're at. You got through it. Like, there's currently, there's always, like, I would say it feels a little bit like Hellraiser sometimes, where I feel like I have hooks in my back and they're all connected to like heavy things behind me, and I'm like walking forward and they're dragging behind me. Like, I always feel like I have a list like that.
Yeah.
And they're reminding me that they're there, but none of them are over a month old. You know what I mean? Like, relatively speaking, nothing that I thought was insurmountable. Like when we launched Guestnicity, like that was an undertaking. 10 episodes before it launches, got to have music and artwork, and every show has to be edited and produced and everything. And I couldn't see myself to Sunday,
Yeah.
And it was the holidays because we were dropping it on like the 1st of January. And now it's kind of on rails. I mean, no, I'm not taking anything away from like, there's a massive amount of effort that Luther puts into it, but I'm talking about just getting it off the ground was kind of on my shoulders when it came to that. Luther obviously did all the work to create the episodes, but to present it to the world, I was in my own head, like, I can't see
you're forging the path, creating the pattern that the the next episodes would follow, right?
Yes, the
You're
stress of
bushwhacking.
the anxiety of going, okay, what's the DNA of an 11:59 show? Is it all here? Are there memorable moments? Are there things that people come back for every single time? Are there the soups or the hugs or the,
Mhm.
and we're back. That's how, he always starts his episode. So, it's that whole anxiety. Yeah. In the back door, they were talking about an eye exercise. I think we've mentioned it here before. An eye exercise that you can do when you can't get back to sleep. And there's actually a couple. And
Mhm.
honestly, I think it's maybe less science and more giving your body something it's kind of like counting sheep.
Yeah.
But the eye exercise I do, and I swear, I mentioned it a little while ago. My sister texted me. She's like, I do that. And I'm like, I think you might have told me about it. And she's like, I don't remember. And, but the exercise that I do, and I swear I've never gotten through 3 rounds of it
Mhm.
without falling back asleep. But when you can't get back to sleep, you close your eyes and you look hard right and you hold that and you count to 10. And then you look hard left and you hold that for 10, hard up 10, hard down 10. And then you look far to your right and do an orbital like left, down, right, up, left. And you do that 5 times.
Mhm.
And I could tell you right now it's 12 seconds and 7 times. I don't think it matters. I think
Uh-huh.
it's the routine of telling yourself you're going to do this monotonous thing, and
Yeah.
somehow the monotony of it puts you to sleep. Like, other people are like, yeah, no, I just open Psalms and I start reading Psalms and I'm asleep before I know it because that thing is it's boring.
Something
Whatever.
something I like to do because I've played sports most of my life, and like my latest one is golf. And if
Mhm.
anyone's ever golfed, it's like there's a reason why it's one of the hardest sports, even though it's not physically demanding. It's all about repetition, but
Yeah.
it's such like a big open movement that you have to do consistently. And so the best thing you can do is let muscle memory take over. But my brain is always like, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, this. And halfway through my swing, I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. And so then I mess up
Right.
my whole swing. So what I started doing, and it's the same when I was bowling too, I start doing math because then it takes my brain off of,
Oh, the muscle memory thing.
yeah, it lets my body, I just go, okay. So my body goes, okay, I know I need to hit, like we're hitting off the tee box. This is a driver. This is my swing. And so like my body knows what to do. Sometimes my brain gets in the way. And like
Right.
a lot of people who've played sports, like that when you hit that Zen mode, you're not thinking anymore, right? You're not thinking about what you're going to do next. You just react and you do it. And it's
Right.
just like baseball players, basketball players, that they get into this Zen mode where they're just reacting to the outside influences, and that's when they're playing their best. And so I start doing math, so I stop thinking about all the things I have to do, and I just let my body do it. So I'll just start doing like, oh, I'll start doing, oh, what's square root of 3 times 7 times 22, and I start just doing numbers. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, boom, hit the ball. I'm like, cool, we're done now. Then my brain goes, now we can worry about tomorrow
Yeah.
or worry about this
Right.
thing. So yeah, math helps if you like math.
Okay, I'm going to share something to you. I'm going to share the screen. This is my cousin Kyle, and he's I get mad watching him golf, but I don't know why. Sometimes I don't know why. I'll open this post from him and I'll just watch him swing. Because he's practiced it so much that it looks like you said one motion, right?
Yeah,
You're like one motion.
Easy and effortless.
Yeah, but the thing about it is it's made up of like 30 micro mechanical motions that he's worked on. So like, he just that right there where his wrist is twitching, where
Yeah.
that was something he worked on. And then and so I watch it because I'm like, I don't know, where is he playing? Is that Hobbiton? Like, I don't like the scenery is unbelievable, but then I'll just watch him and it kind of puts me in a mode where I'm like, okay, all right, well, that's amazing. And then I remember why I love him.
But yeah,
Also,
if he does that exact same thing and changes the way his thumb lines up by like a millimeter,
yeah,
it would completely change. Like that's how like touchy golf is. Like you can do everything the exact same, but if you hold your club just slightly differently,
yeah,
you just ruined the whole thing.
yeah. And the other thing I love about that kind of a thing is kind of like what you're saying is he's gotten to the point where he just loves what he's doing. Kind of, he's not thinking about it. All the thinking was done like days and years and months ago, you know, and he's still working on things, but you're not, I don't know the best way to put it. He also frustrates me because he's a composer and like next level composer.
Yeah. And if you want to know the secret to golf, there's a video, a channel where there's a blind guy who golfs and he has his buddy lines him up, tells him, here's where we are. This is how far out we are. Here's where the pin is. This is how the course is. And that's what golf is, literally the muscle memory and just being completely consistent. So a blind man can literally golf. All you have to do is just aim them in the right direction.
So it's that heavy on the mechanics.
It's that heavy on mechanics.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And no wonder it's like you talk to anybody who's golfed and they're like, no, it'd be like becoming a god where you're like, it's an eternity's worth of work, you know?
Yeah.
Like golf to them is like, no, you don't ever peak.
Yeah.
You just keep improving.
The cool thing is like anybody can golf. Like the best way to describe it is like I will never be able to slam dunk a basketball, right? Never in my life will I ever be able to slam dunk a basketball. But guess what? I can hit the exact same shot that a professional golfer is going to hit. I can do it. I don't do it consistently.
Right.
I don't do it all the time. But every once in a while, I hit a shot that a professional, like the best golfer in the world, would be like, hey, I would be very happy with that shot, right?
Yeah.
And every once in a while that happens. Whereas like I said, I'll never dunk a basketball, I'll never be able to throw a football 60 yards. I'll never be able, like, just because that's like, it's not possible. Like, so golf is very nice in the fact that unathletic people can golf and get to the point where they're golfing just as well as pros do.
It kind of reminds me, I've talked about this before. It kind of reminds me though of, like, spiritual inspiration, where when you get, like, if you're that kind of a person and you get some spiritual inspiration, it always adds a block that's a step higher than the one you're on. And no matter how far away from that you get, you seem to remember. You're like, I remember that 60-yard stretch on hole 9 at Poughkeepsie Golf Course. You know, like you always seem to remember the additive steps that got you there. Like each one's a journal entry kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and like my grandpa's pushing 90 years old. That dude still is a legend on the golf course. Like he might have a 4 handicap at this point, which if anyone who knows, that's insane, especially for a man who's 90 years old. Like to be able to hit a 4, like have a 4 handicap.
That's crazy.
So yeah, that's insane. There's amateur, like semi-pro golfers who have a 4 handicap.
Well, Chase, what did you bring today?
I brought some politics stuff, but in a fun way.
Okay.
It's not going to be a dumb way. So I brought weird laws and constitutional provisions. So these are like, and it's not just America, it's all over the world. So laws, including our Constitution, are supposed to be the big serious rule book. It's like the thing you wave around when someone says, can you do that? And you're like, well, the Constitution says, and then everybody goes, oh, yeah, you got me there. Looking at you, Republicans, and especially you, Democrats. Follow the Constitution. It's there for a reason. Anyways, sometimes some countries put stuff in there that makes you go, do you know how to read? And that's what we're going to talk about today. some unusual, surprising, and funny little legal things from all over the world. No extras, no additives, just the facts that made it into official, real documents. So, Sam, have you ever read a constitution and thought, yeah, this could use more guinea pigs?
No, never once.
Well, in Switzerland, it is illegal to own a single guinea pig.
In Switzerland,
In Switzerland,
it is
you cannot
illegal to
own
a single
one guinea pig. You have to own at least 2 if you have a guinea pig.
Why?
So the Swiss were like, hey, we see that guinea pigs are very lonely and they like being around other guinea pigs. So we're going to help them out. And so guinea pigs are very social animals and they need companionship. And so they wrote an animal law, a welfare law that said keeping one guinea pig alone is considered cruelty to animals because of emotional stress.
Oh.
And this is like, it goes on, if you have 2 guinea pigs and one dies, you are expected to replace it. So if you have 2, one dies, you have to go buy the guinea pig a new friend. And they even have places where you can rent temporary guinea pigs while you're looking for your newest friend.
It's like Tindy Pig.
Yeah. So, with that in mind,
stupid.
what kind of animal law would you like to see put on the books?
I don't know. I'm kind of like, I really like the Sia song, Puppies Are Forever,
Mm-hmm.
not just for Christmas,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
I really like that. Like, here's where I don't know if I'm weird. I want men's sports. This is just me, people. So you be you. I want men's sports. I want women's sports. I'd love to see a trans sport league. And I want to see a what would you call it? Like medically induced crazy muscle people league. You know what I mean? Like steroid league. I want a steroid league.
Did you see that? They call them the steroid games.
Okay, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
In the same vein as that, I'm a very much puppies are forever, not just for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the laboratory of here's a weird dog we created. You know, I don't know why. I'm just like, good job. I have to say where I get really mad about it though is they're like, look at this weird dog we created. Its face is so ruined that it can't breathe and it's gonna die.
Yeah.
Like I don't like that direction.
Mm-mm.
But I'm like, oh, you made a dog that can eat a whole baby in one bite? Wow. I'm all for it. So puppies are forever, not just for Christmas. But I'm also like, if you want to create a breed and charge $6,000 because it's like a total freak in nature, I'm okay with that too. I don't know what that says about me.
Yeah. I want a Cane Corso. Look them up. They're beautiful. I
Yeah.
really want one.
Yeah.
I want one so bad.
Was it the Malamute?
I also think that there should be almost like, not like a class, but there are certain type of dog breeds that people need to learn about before they buy them.
Oh, 100%.
Like if you're going to get
find out your city laws before you buy certain dogs.
But like if you're going to get like a border collie or something, don't be an old person who doesn't want to take it on walks. Like if you want a dog to be a companion that you don't want to take on walks, get a bulldog, get a mastiff, like low energy dogs. They're bursts, right? You can literally take that thing out, let it run up and down your driveway 4 times and it's done for the day.
Right.
Like don't get a border collie or like a healer or an Australian shepherd and then keep it inside all day.
Right.
Same thing with bully breeds. If you're going to get a bully breed, you have to, like, I know it sounds mean. You have to bully that breed. Like,
I'll bet you
if you do not,
you just caused a rift in the animal lover world.
if you are not the alpha, that dog is going to run all over you. It's not going to listen to you. And that's where you have problems with bully breeds is because their owners are not the alpha.
You're not saying be abusive. You're saying you need to be authoritative.
You need to
with
be
that baby
authoritative
dog.
and you need to speak dogs' languages, which sometimes is physical. That doesn't mean you hurt the dog, but you remind it physically, right?
Okay.
Like there's times where I would like tackle my dog to the ground. We had boxers, right? Not in a way that would ever hurt it, right? But very gentle. Like I would kind of put it on the ground. Like I would get physical. I would overpower him, put him on the ground, and guess what? After that, he would chill right down.
Yeah, you
like,
pulled a dog
immediately.
whisperer thing that's
Yeah.
and you're sticking your fingers in.
I'm not hurting him. I'm not smacking him. I'm not kicking him. I'm not like throwing him on the ground, right? I'm putting him on the ground in a way that goes, I'm tougher than you,
Yeah.
right?
I saw a hilarious video the other day on Instagram. It just said, buy a Malinois, they said. It'll be a great dog, they said. And then the whole video is like them putting it in a kennel, and it's got like 11-foot walls, and the Malinois just like leaps over the wall and it's like, hey, I guess, hey, what are we doing next?
Yep.
Like everything is a game to a Malinois. Like everything that's high needs to be scaled.
Mhm.
Like I believe they're the ones, I think you were talking about them,
meat
where
missiles.
yeah, meat missiles. They're just like 30 miles an hour and then like Superman right into a car window, you know? Just
No, they don't
don't
care about
understand.
themselves at all. Like when they're on, they're just like, I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to do the thing. I'm going to do the thing.
Yeah.
It's like that hyper kid that would like jump off the roof in high school just to do it. Like that's what every Malinois is. Like, I'm going to do it.
We had a kid that was like a Malinois growing up. It was in Missouri, and it was a pretty nice neighborhood, and we were all just, a bunch of white kids. And then Rami, they were a very traditional Indian family. Hindian. I don't know the best way to put it. Dot, not feather.
Okay.
And he'd come over and play on our tramp with us. But his favorite thing to do was, we couldn't figure out how he'd do it. He would stiffen his body and then like bounce a little, but then like just like a popsicle stick, he'd bounce, stiff body onto his head and then bounce off of his head onto his feet again. And he'd be like, watch it. And he'd just do it all the time. We're like, you're going to break your neck.
Yeah.
He never broke we're not sure how, didn't use any hands. I don't know where he's at now, or he might be dead. But
or he's in the circus. He might be in Cirque du Soleil right now.
Yeah.
Doing his little popsicle headstands. Who knows?
It was crazy.
All right, next one. Next weird law. This one's actually kind of cool. We're going to south of the border. We're going to Mexico.
Okay.
And there, they have in law, they have a ban on noble titles. Their constitution is very clear about nobility. And to use a Spanish word, that is no. So they're not allowed, you can't have any titles in in Mexico. So Article 12 of their constitution says no titles of nobility. You can't grant them. It's not a thing. And then Article 37 goes a step further and says that if a Mexican citizen accepts a noble title from a foreign state without permission, they can lose their citizenship. Like that's how far they take it. Like, so like if someone
if you were
from
a
Mexico
lord or something, is that what they're saying?
Yeah, like Lord, Duke. They wanted to wipe out old world aristocratic hierarchy. No dukes, no counts, nobody showing up with a cape and monocle talking about their estate. That is not a thing. So yeah, even if like let's say the England wanted to make you a lord without permission, like unless it would help like relations, if you just went and did that, you could lose your citizenship in Mexico. Because they don't. That's how serious they are about no aristocracy in Mexico.
Huh.
And so here's a question: would you ever turn down a noble title on principle, or are you like, yeah, I'll be the Baron of root beer, please?
Oh man, I used to have a pretty AB black and white opinion on it, but if you watch Downton Abbey through a certain lens, and I'm saying a certain lens. And maybe I'm saying a certain lens because I'm scared of some people and how easily triggered some people can become. But when you watch Downton Abbey through a certain lens and you look at it as the butler is like apex predator butler. He's the best butler. He's the most he understands
so hard.
he understands his job, and he understands it And when I say that, I'm not saying it like a slaveholder, like, no, oh, razzle tazzle, he knows his job, he knows his place. I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying it like the butler takes pride in his job. Like, his job on the manor is to do X, Y, and Z, and he's got hard margins on what's proper and what's not, right?
Yeah.
The other person has that too. Even the manor, what I don't know what you'd call the main guy, like the head of the manor, he's got a job to do. Like, his job is to generate revenue for the manor. Like, they've each got a job.
Yeah.
And so, like, when you start looking at it through that lens, and then, you know, a bunch of people who don't understand that dynamic are like, do away with it, it's terrible. Suddenly what happens is that butler doesn't have a job anymore. He's just another guy in town, and he's working cutting bread at a bakery. Like, he's lost the pride that he had in taking his talents and you know, in being indefatigable and circumspect and all the things that make a butler a great butler. Suddenly we took that job away, and because a lot of people are like, well, it's servitude or whatever. No, like, that butler saw it as his contribution to the manor, and like that it was an inner working. I get it. Like, yes, there are levels there, and, you know, some people can't ever come upstairs, and like there's things that are wrong with it, but those people all realize that they're part of a working system. And then when you look at any business, you're like, oh, it's the same.
Yeah.
Oh, the CEO comes and, you know, gives a heartfelt speech from the stage, and all the employees are like, man, okay, we're doing the thing, we're making a widget. And then it's like, everybody go back to your desks and make the widgets. And then he goes and works out at the gym at 2 p.m. Like, there's always a hierarchy, and a lot of it's based on mitigating risk. It's like, who's willing to take the risk? Without the lord of the manor generating revenue for the manor and being his job, the manor ceased to exist.
Yeah.
Just like the CEO of a company. Like, you might hate your menial job there, but if the CEO just decides to phone it in for 6 months, you don't have a job there anymore. You know?
don't.
So I'm on the fence. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
All that to say, I don't know.
All that stuff is just we do the same thing just in businesses.
Yeah.
You're doing the same kind of stuff just in a business setting.
I got a hilarious review the other day. I'll look it up while you keep going.
Okay. So the next lands of countries we're going to is the Netherlands. This one irks me a little bit. They have a law that says no constitutional judicial review. So let me clarify this. In a lot of countries, if you think a law goes against the Constitution, you can take it to court. You can do that in America, right? Happens all the time. People are constantly taking the government to court, right? Like, gun groups do it all the time. They're probably some of the most famous ones who do it. They'll sue the government saying this law is unconstitutional. Like, it happened with the abortion stuff. Like, that's the same thing. Like, we don't agree with this law. We're going to sue the government, right? We're going to take you to court. So that's a thing. And then the courts go, hey, let's look at this. Let's look at everything in the entirety and see if this really is. Well, you can't do that in the Netherlands. Once they say it's a law, there's no judicial. You can't sue the government.
Oh, that's
you can't talk out against the government at that point. Once they declare something constitutional,
does that worry you? Like, does that get your hackles up at all?
It does, yeah. So Article 120 of the Netherlands Constitution says courts can't review laws passed by Parliament for constitutionality. Even if a law seems to contradict the Constitution, judges have to let it stand. So once Parliament says this is greenlit, it's done.
Yeah, that's.
And the only people who can reverse it is Parliament. They're the only people who can reverse their law that they put in. No one else can. Or like, there's no checks and balances. Like in the U.S., we have the 3 branches. They can kind of fight each other, right? So that power is not in one arm of the government.
Yeah, one.
And so that's not how it is in the Netherlands. The people who you voted in, they control you at that point. So like, you can vote in new people. They can go back and change it,
Yeah,
But that takes a long time if you
that
think
does.
about it, right?
It does.
And a lot of politicians just pretend. They'll be like, yeah, I'll change that. And then they get in the office and just go, nah, I'm good.
Well, how many of them? I mean, we see it all the time. We'll see some eager beaver from XYZ state become a young senator, and he thinks he's going to go and change everything. And then he gets in there and realizes, even within his own party, he's sticks out like a sore thumb, and nobody wants to work with him.
Mhm.
It can be. You're right. That can be very hard. The challenge I have with that is if you just rewind even in our own history, and if we were to apply that same effect in our country, imagine like the McCarthy era, where anyone could be brought before a tribunal because somebody said you were a communist,
Yeah.
and they could ruin your whole life.
Mhm.
You know, it's fraught with risk.
Yeah. So the question is if you lived in a system where courts can't strike down laws, would that make you more likely to vote in every election, or would you just keep a stress notebook?
Well, being me, I'd vote in every election, and I'd vote for change based on I don't know. I think you should. I heard a hilarious comedian the other day. She was like another thing about Gen Xers. We used to do. Oh, it's so crazy. I can't even believe we used to do it as Gen Xers. But we would do this thing called critical thinking, and the audience laughs. And she goes on to kind of rub it in that anymore we just sometimes we just follow the pack, or we read a
Yeah.
headline and suddenly we've got a PhD, professional headline degree.
Yeah.
Um, but I really do like I try to be very educated about who's in the next election, who's doing this. My wife, come election time, she'll be like, "So who do I vote for?" And I'm like, "Nope.
Nope.
Here's
That's not
some
how this
links.
works.
I take it seriously. I don't feel like I can sway anybody, but I do feel like we should be leading the horses to water, and then
Mhm.
they vote based on how they taste, how the water
Yeah.
tastes.
How the waters tastes.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
water, a lot of people like to spend time on water for vacation. People like to go to beach. They like to go to the lake. So Brazil, they have a constitutional right to leisure. In Brazil's 1988 constitution, it includes leisure, like actual leisure, as a fundamental social right alongside housing, health, and education.
It's interesting. The
So,
lazy bone in me says I really like that, but
so it doesn't mean the government is mailing you a hammock and a beach umbrella, but it does mean that public policies should promote rest, recreation, and cultural participation.
okay.
So things like public parks, they implemented paid vacation laws. They made in laws against people being overworked. So that's what they like. They just basically mean like work hard, play hard.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they have like Brazil. If you know anything about it, like they have a culture of festivals. Like they love to frickin' party down there. So like they like some of their cultural festivities will include sports, beach day. Like they'll literally have like a festival of just going to the beach
Yeah.
and just chilling out. And it's like the government's like, hey, we're having a national beach day kind of a thing. And it's like they want to make sure people have a space to enjoy life. So it's like this helped. They put in more parks because of this. So it's like it's not just like, hey, you get to do nothing today. It's like, no, we want to have a place where the public can go and relax, right? Which we kind of
Yeah.
do in America. We have state parks and
Sure.
city parks and that kind of stuff. It's kind of along the same lines, but it's in
Massage
their
parlors.
constitution.
Interesting.
Yeah, massage parlors.
Huh.
But yeah, that's kind of cool. Like they want to make sure that they provide space for people to enjoy life.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, I found my review. So
Do it.
it's for the 911 Calls podcast. It's a 1-star from Australia. The title of it is Identifying the Magic, but it's a 1-star. And I'm like, okay, let's see what this person has to say. Starts out not about the podcast. This is to 1159 Media. So That'd be kind of like saying writing a review for Dr. Death and then addressing your review to Wondery. Okay,
Yeah.
so just so we're all on the same page. It's like it's like Channel 7 getting a rating for Friends.
Or
Okay?
like doing a movie review about not the movie, but about Disney.
Or even
is-
doing a rating about like watching the Ed Gein Monsters Netflix and then one starring it because you dislike the way Ed Gein operated in life. It's okay.
Because Ed
okay.
Gein's disgusting.
So it starts out strong. This is to 1159 Media. As the media company representing, you would think that my podcast would be next. No, True Crime Kent. So I don't know. That's 2 strikes.
I have a lot of reviews that
Of
don't even
relevance.
talk about me. It's just all about other people.
Kent. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, I'm just being objective here, pragmatic. I don't think he gets a lot of that. Like, I don't think he gets a lot of hate the show because of Sam. I don't think he gets, I don't know. Anyway, as the media company representing True Crime Kent, I'm obliged to state that this is a review of True Crime Kent. I'm obliged to state that TCK from episode 1 until episode 47 was a caliber that has rarely been achieved in the history of podcasting. Makes my heart warm a little. Why?
Because you were on all of those?
I was on episode 1 through episode 47. Unfortunately, now this goes back to this harkens back to what I was saying about being the boss, right?
Yeah.
You're always taking the arrows. So this is Kent's show, not even on our network anymore. My show's getting a 1 star because of the high quality caliber that I helped contribute to episode 1 through 47. It goes on. Unfortunately, it's clear that the operator, in quotes, the operator this is where it's my fault. As a senior producer, failed miserably to understand how important his secondary role was to that podcast. After he decided to get more involved, it simply lost all its spark. What a shame. At the beginning, it was by far the best podcast I'd ever heard, and I've heard very, very many. So sad. I don't understand what that is to me. Is it's like somebody trying to that smacks of post World War II Nazi lady trying to justify her views during World War II.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand it. It's like, oh, these were the heyday and you're the reason for it, but you're also the reason that it sucks now.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
like you can't win for losing.
Yeah. Or when I love when people like compare
so
you to
funny.
something, and it's just like, yeah, I'm not that thing.
I'm not that guy. I'm not.
It's like imagine making like a short film, and someone's like, "This isn't Casablanca," and you're like, "No,
exactly.
it's not. This is something completely different." And I made it with $7, and I didn't have a $1 billion budget. Like, of course, it's different.
Yeah,
guess what? I made a horror short, and it's not Casablanca.
Casablanca.
Just like, oh my gosh!
Like this guy could have done a better job reviewing another podcast and being like, I don't like this host as much.
Yeah,
like it would have been more constructive for the podcaster itself.
Yeah, if there's no construction there, they just all they want to do is just piss you off or hurt you. Or
really, what this is it's somebody who is like, what else? What else could we get? Could we bleed Sam for? Like, what else could we blame him for? How could we blame the current status of another podcast that he's no longer involved with on him? I know. We'll say that what he did was stellar when he was contributing. And now that he's decided to not be part of it, damn him.
Yeah,
so weird.
What a loser.
Well, I mean, if you've never had a business and you've never been a boss, I promise you, no. The closest I could say is if you've ever had a kid and that kid's ever been a teenager and you are a failure as a parent to that teenager who has a smooth brain still, that's about the same. Be a boss and everybody you fire is your fault. Couldn't be
all-
the burnt fries that they kept kicking out the door, or
Yeah.
maybe not doing fries at all. Well, it's also a fun fact to know and share, just in case, you want to ever rage review another podcast. Even Apple now gives us the ability to go in and be like, can you take this one down? Because what sucks about Apple is you can't reply. Spotify, you can. I love that.
Yeah.
But with Apple, you can't. And so you can go in and be like, all I have to say is read the first 2 lines. This isn't even about my podcast. And Apple will be like, yeah.
Well, the other thing Spotify does is
Delete.
they don't let you leave a comment with your star rating.
No, that's true. That's true.
So you can't just sit there and talk shit on a podcast for no, like, I could go on to Joe Rogan's podcast and make all sorts of unsubstantiated claims about it, right?
Yeah.
And then Apple's just like, cool, we're just gonna let everyone see it. And it's just
they've
like,
lost
I
so much
lied
ground.
through my teeth on that, and you're just gonna let everyone see it. Cool, thank you. Whereas, like, that's the thing I like about Spotify. Like, yeah, the worst they can do is 1-star you and bring your average down.
If you're not listening on Spotify, if you're listening somewhere else, Spotify has really started to think about the listener in a lot of ways, and I love it. Actually, Apple reached out to me. I told you about this, Chase. Apple reached out a little while ago, and they're like, we'd like to talk to you about doing some more sponsor relationship stuff with Apple, and let's get on a call. So I got on a call with their Apple representative. And, they did their pitch and everything. And I was like, I got a couple things. And I was obviously I'm because they're not the 1,000-pound gorilla anymore. And I think they're realizing that Spotify is. And so, so I was going through some things. I'm like, this is just really, this is hard. Like when I upload to Spotify, it shows a little loading thing and it, might take 15 minutes for a video to upload and then it's ready and then I can hit publish and it's done. With Apple, that was just one thing, but I was like, it says processing. It could be 15 minutes. It could be 3 hours. I have no idea. It's just like, we will let you know when we're done doing our bidding behind the scenes. And I'm like, it's impossible for us to be consistently uploading to Apple without this. And then I was like, also the lack of touch with listeners and our community is really hard. And they're like, we're working on that and we're fixing that and we're doing that. And we've heard a lot of people say what you're saying right now. You're not the only one. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you don't
do anything about it.
You have more cash in the bank than most countries.
Yeah.
But they just have let this baby get really fat and sad.
And now it's starting to get thin because everyone's ignoring it.
Oh, another thing I asked him, I'm like, so do you guys have anything on the timeline for video? Because if you're watching this, if you're listening to this on Spotify, you can also be watching this on Spotify, not on Apple. You can't. You just can't. You can't do it. And they're like, we've got it in the works. We've heard a lot of people saying the same thing you're saying. And I'm like, okay. Well,
okay. Well, you guys ruined iTunes, and everyone told you not to do the things you're doing, and you just kept doubling down anyways. So you have a good history of it.
Yeah, it's
of fixing
weird.
your products.
It's weird. At least now they let me go, hey, could you have a human review this review and agree with me or disagree with me that this isn't even about my show anymore? Yeah.
It's just a personal attack at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. This is a cool one. I think you'll like it. In Finland, you can camp just about anywhere. Finland believes in nature.
Well,
they have something
like
called every man's right. Yeah, it's true. But it's a little different, and we'll explain why. So, in their constitution and national law, you have what's called every man's right, or that's how you pronounce it.
Okay.
And it means you can hike, forage, and even camp on private land, asterisk, within reason. So obviously, if you're like ruining someone's property or like you're going and harvesting chanterelle mushrooms and then selling them in the local market off of some dude's land, like that's when you can like say, no, you're trespassed. But like if there's just like a random wild blackberry bush and no one's picking it and it's on someone's property, you can go pick blackberries.
Really?
And eat them. Yeah. Like if the owner's like, hey, that's mine, I'm gonna touchy, then that's different. but it's like you can go camp on any, like you can go and pull up into someone's random field, pitch a tent, as long as you're doing, proper camping etiquette, which is leave no trace, right? As long as you're doing that, you can just show up, camp, take off. No one can do anything about it. Like obviously you can't just go pitch a tent in someone's front yard. Like this is like private land. Like if someone owns like 100 acres of land, right? You can go kind of camp out in their woods for a night. It's cool. As long as you're just not, and it literally says, be respectful, give people's homes space, and leave no mess, like leave no trace. So yes, it's like they just want everyone to have access to land and be able to get outside, be able to go do things. Because it's like there's a problem where I live. A lot of the woods around here, you're like, oh, woods everywhere. I can't go into them because they're private. They're owned by logging companies. They're owned by private landowners. So there's like there's actually not a lot, like living in Utah. And Idaho. There's BLM land everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Like you can go out and you can go camping, you can go do whatever you want, go hiking, whatever. Here, it's not really the case. It's a lot of private land, a lot of private land. So, yeah, I just like this because you can just go do your thing.
That's interesting.
If you're not bothering anybody, you're not ruining anything, go enjoy nature.
It reminds me of, I'm going to share this. It reminds me of this thing I just saw. This is wild. So what you're looking at here is which countries offer citizenship by land versus blood. So you've got basically all the continents, and then you've got all the countries, and each country is an either or. You either gain your citizenship through the rule of land or the rule of blood. So the rule of land is called jus soli, rule of land. If born in any of the blue nations that you see on the screen, you're automatically offered citizenship irrespective of your parents' nationality. So like in our country, for example, you have automatic citizenship if the birth mother of you cranked you out on U.S. soil. So, and we've talked about, we call them anchor babies. They've had other names over the decades. Birthright citizenship is actually being discussed in the Supreme Court right now. And then you've got rule of blood, which is jus sanguinis. If born in the red nations, your citizenship depends on the citizenship of your parents.
Can I do a caveat?
Yeah.
I used to live there, Madagascar. Their rule of cash.
What's that?
It means if you give them enough money, they go, "Oh, we found some blood in your lineage. You're from here. We went pretty far back because you're super white, but we found some." Yeah, it was about $200. You can become a citizen.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's called rule. I guess you could call it rule of bribes.
It makes you wonder, like with this type of a thing, like if you looked at the number of, like the rule of land countries, it makes you wonder if they have a problem, like if they have a different problem with immigration than rule of blood countries. Like they see a lot of, like in Chad, for example, here in the middle, smack dab in the middle of Africa. Like, I wonder if they've got people crossing the border to crank out a kid because the economic status of people living in Chad is better. And so they'll have their child born in Chad. I don't know that that's the case. Chad doesn't exactly hit me as an economic hub. I think the only thing I remember from Chad is that it has the world's deepest lake.
And it has the world's most flattest brimmed hat.
It does?
Yeah, because they're a Chad.
Oh my gosh. Interesting that over you got Pakistan that has the rule of land. Yeah, I'm just curious about that because it's interesting. What's that red one up? Is that Greenland?
Yeah. And as I remember from D2, The Mighty Ducks, Greenland is full of ice, and Iceland is very nice.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Colombia, rule of blood. You know what? Okay, I think like if we're just going off the map, I think I might have just answered my question here. Look at the positioning of Colombia versus North America and Central America.
It's a
What do you
bridge.
notice?
It's a connector.
It's the only connection from
Yeah.
Central America. And it's the only place in South America that has the rule of blood, which makes you think, yeah, I'll bet you money that this determination for Colombia was based on immigration
Yeah.
because of where it is. Like you could see a southern trend down into Colombia, northern trend up where I don't know. I could be wrong. I'd be curious to know that though, Anyway,
Who knows?
who
What about
knows?
Liechtenstein? Is that on the map? Because we're going to talk about Liechtenstein.
They're on the map, but they're red.
So in Liechtenstein, they have a democracy, but they also have a prince, like a ruler.
Okay.
In their constitution, the prince can veto anything and everything he wants.
Ooh.
So most modern monarchs are doing ribbon cuttings, waving from cars, starting crappy podcasts that get pulled really quick. If you know, you
Or
know.
don't get pulled fast enough.
Yeah. Liechtenstein apparently did not get that memo. Their constitution from 1921, plus a 2003 amendment approved by the people, gives the prince very real power. He can veto any law passed by their parliament. No override, no appeal. So if he says no, there's no like, well, look at it again. Or someone else step in, like judiciary step in and tell him no. No, he can say no. And it just means no. He also appoints the judges, he can dismiss ministers, and he can even dissolve parliament if he wanted to. He can veto the whole parliament thing. Like he can say, "No, we're a monarchy again." He could say that if he wanted to. It's one of the strongest royal roles in any democratic country in the world. There's a twist though, a little twist. The people can vote to abolish the monarchy.
Oh, so if he's got to tread pretty lightly because if he doesn't,
Yeah.
they could just see ya to him.
So it's a super weird balance of power, right? Immense power in the monarchy. Like he can basically just say whatever he wants, do whatever he wants for a time, until the people go, "You're not the king anymore. You're not the prince anymore."
Now, my follow-up question to that is, if they get rid of the prince, but they still have a monarchy in place, doesn't that just mean that like one of his relatives would become the successor?
Probably. But if they don't like him, they're like, "You're out next. You're out next," and then they just keep going down because like line of succession just keeps going. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're the 27th cousin removed.
Yeah.
Like you're the new king.
That in my opinion, that would breed two kinds of royal people. You'd have the prince who's taking all the arrows. He's getting the 1-star reviews no matter what, right? Then let's say he's got two brothers. There's two ways this goes. Either you disagree with a lot of what your brother does as the prince, and so you try to be the most royal and the most upstanding and attractive to the people, because if he missteps, that means you're going to be. Or you've got the other brother that's like, I don't ever want to be in royalty, so I'll be at Ibiza.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging out with those topless people over there. Like, you would do one of two things. You'd either totally pull a John Galt where you're like just crazy, and like you want the whole lifestyle, but you never want to be picked.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
So, final question of the day. If you could veto anything, but your entire existence could be vetoed by everybody else, do you sleep better or worse at night?
Okay, say that one more time.
So, like, if you had the power to literally change anything you wanted, but at the same time, you could be vetoed by everyone else, they could vote to just say, "You're done." Do you sleep better or worse at night? Knowing that at any time, people can just go, "We don't like you anymore. Bye."
Oh, well, welcome to 1159 Media. But with that being said, I'm too big of a fan of agency. Like I just would say, no, I don't want to play. I don't want to
Mhm.
play. Like I don't want to be able to veto one of anything.
Yeah.
Like if I had to veto something, and I think that it'd be like for the better of all mankind, and maybe generations later would say we're really glad he did that, I'd probably veto alcohol.
Mhm.
Just because, and that probably would piss a lot of people off, but so many of our problems from birth to death, so many of the things, so many of the serial killers, so many of the, the day to day,
Yeah.
like so many of it is caused by this thing.
Yeah.
I do that.
How many episodes do I have to start out with? And his mother and father were alcoholics.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it's almost like I don't even have to say it anymore because it's implied. Like I now it's like say it when they weren't alcoholics. I'm like, actually, for once, they
Yeah.
weren't alcoholics.
Right. Yeah, it's the exception to the rule. But I say that and instantly I'm like, nope, I want everybody to have agency. And then, it 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 is the bane of I think of our existence as far as the tragedies that encumber everybody.
Mhm.
I think more than anything else. But at the same time, in moderation, a lot of people would take umbrage with me wanting to cancel that, right? So,
Yeah.
but if I had to, I would do that. But at the same time, the moment I did that, I'd also know I'm canceled.
Yeah.
My life is canceled. So
Yep.
I don't want to play. How about that, Chase?
I guess you can do that. I guess you can do that. All right. That was my shtick. That was my dealio.
I liked it. I came up with a collection of books. I've been on this one thing that the algorithms know about me now is and maybe I'm doing this because I like it for Neverdaily more than me being a voracious book reader, but I'm a voracious audiobook listener.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really into really good book review guys on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across a really curious one, though. This wasn't exactly
Sounds
a
like you
book
said
review.
you came across a bi-curious one.
I came across a bi-curious. So he's a book and audiobook reviewer. So
Ooh.
he lives in both worlds. No, this one is a list of books that were written, then lost to time and history, and then rediscovered, that have all impacted the world in more significant ways than any
Are there
other.
Are there
I
any
won't say any
surprises
other.
on the list?
What?
Are there any surprises on the list?
Yep. Yeah, you're going to be blown away. I won't
I'm
say
ready.
any other books because that's a little hyperbolic, but let's go through this. I'm going to knock out. I'm going to knock out the one that is the most most no duh. We've all heard it, but I bet you didn't know what it was. Like why? Like what's the deal? First one, the Dead Sea Scrolls. You ever
Ooh.
heard of it?
Yeah, they found them in the Dead Sea area.
They did. So the Dead Sea Scrolls, and I'll tell you why they were like significant. They were written from the 3rd century BCE to the 1st century CE. So let me put that so from the 3rd century, so from 300 BC to 100 AD. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is a series of scrolls on papyrus, papyrus,
Papyrus.
that were handed down because no one lives for 400 years.
Mm-hmm.
These were written on and then handed to other people, written on, handed, blah, 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 blah. The Dead Sea Scrolls consist of thousands of fragments and full manuscripts of Jewish texts, including the oldest known biblical documents. So in 1947, Bedouin shepherds found the first scrolls in a cave near Qumran on the northwestern shore of the Dead Sea. Further excavations revealed more caves filled with manuscripts long hidden after being stored by an ancient Jewish sect, possibly the Essenes, which was a Jewish sect back in the day, as a result of Roman threats. So the Romans came through a lot of these areas, and they did like what the Crusaders did, or what happened in Timbuktu, where the barbarians came into Timbuktu and they're like, what are you guys? And they're like, we're just a peaceful people, and we are record keeping people, and we're pretty successful at it. And they're like, oh, you think you suck? And here, give me your books. And they burned them all. Burned beautiful manuscripts, just all of them. And so when that started happening in Timbuktu, for example, people were like, we got to hide this stuff. So they would mud them up in walls
and then never talk about them.
Never
again.
talk about them. Family upon family, like it would be deathbed whisperings to the next person, like, hey, there's manuscripts in the wall. Under penalty of death, don't talk about them. So same thing with the Dead Sea Scrolls. They were hidden away by the Essenes, they think, because Romans came in and they're like, we're getting rid of everything. We're burning that library down, all that. Their discovery was a watershed, proving the stability of the Hebrew Bible's transmission over a millennium. That means that the Hebrew Bible, which became translated into every Bible we know today,
including the King James Version,
was all subject to, it was all verified through the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, because before that, the Hebrew Bible, you could have been skeptical. Just like, well, this was just written this creative writing.
Yeah.
The Dead Sea Scrolls, because of their provenance being the 3rd century BC to 100 AD, that covers 300 years before Christ and 100 years after, was such a span of time that it's an additional evidence or witness of the same writings, and they corroborate the details in the Hebrew Bible over an entire millennium. So it provided primary context for the late Second Temple period, which was a very significant period of time, offered early glimpses into the origins of Christianity and Rabbinic Judaism, which is like OG Judaism, or one of the G's. And they're continuously still being studied, and it constantly, now we're using AI actually to read and translate portions of the Dead Sea Scrolls that were never translated. Many of these were rolled up and then they were put inside of pottery for protection. But in the state that they're in, because they were near the Dead Sea, one of the reasons they were preserved is because they were near the Dead Sea, which is extremely arid plus salt. Yeah. But one of the challenges with that is when you remove all of the moisture, everything turns to dust. So you can't unroll these bad boys. So AI is actually started to be used to scan through imagine, those fruit by the foot where it's got printing on it, like pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine having a fruit by the foot still rolled up, but AI can look all the way to the core of the roll and tell you all the pictures that are on it.
They shoot like lasers and X-rays,
MRI,
and MRIs.
Yeah.
And then, but it just looks like a big scribbled jumble of everything overlapped. But AI is like, I got this.
Yep. Yeah, because the scanning technology has been around for a long time to be able to do that, like extreme at atomic level layered scans. But then AI goes, okay, well, yeah, you started scanning, and I mean, on a curved surface, if you scan a flat, if you just imagine a knife cutting through a roll, like the Toll House cookies, right?
Yes.
If you cut laterally or horizontally through that roll, you'd be cutting through multiple layers at once. So AI has the ability to piece together what's all on one layer, not from the layer below it or above it, right? So anyway, Dead Sea Scrolls. It's one of the most pivotal, fundamental, proof positive documents that has a series of documents that's been discovered. Okay, now on to some that you may never heard of. How about the Diamond Sutra? You ever heard of that?
Is that? I've heard of something else sutra, the sexy
The
time
Kama
sutra.
Sutra?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Diamond Sutra, which sounds like the OnlyFans version of Kama Sutra, like it's subscription only.
Yeah.
You know, or something you'd get if you
It's like the executive tier.
Yes. After a certain number of winnings in Vegas,
Mhm.
you get the Diamond Sutra, you know. So the Diamond Sutra is a Mahayana Buddhist text originally written between the 2nd century BC, so 200 BC, and the 3rd century BCE or AD. So covers about 500 years.
Mhm.
Its teachings dating back to the historic Buddha's lifetime, the actual Buddha's lifetime in the 5th century BC. The oldest printed version, dated 868 CE, is the earliest known printed book with a specific date on it. It was discovered in 1900 by Wang Yanlu, a monk at the Mogao Caves. And that it's also known as the Cave of 1,000 Buddhas in Dunhuang, China. The caves, sealed around the year 1000 AD for protection against, again, invasion,
Mhm.
contained over 40,000 manuscripts, including the Diamond Sutra. So it was hidden and largely forgotten until they were rediscovered. The Diamond Sutra dramatically illustrates the intersection of religion, philosophy, and early printing
Oh, I
technology.
thought you were gonna say fan fiction.
Wouldn't that be? And superhero-dom. We found out the DC Comics origin stories all the way back to there. But yeah, those three things, like this is kind of the origin story for, or a confluence, I guess you could say, of religion, philosophy, and early printing technology. So its rediscovery influenced the understanding of both Buddhism's spread, how to happen, and the inception of printing, impacting scholarship, religious studies, and cultural appreciation globally. So this, again, this is and I always love this kind of thing. Like, a lot of religious texts, sort of like Egyptology.
Mhm.
The moment there's a discovery in Egypt, there's a bunch of critics, like
Yeah.
just come out of the woodwork. You know, it's the kind of like the Republican in name only, the old war hawk that doesn't want to concede that his concepts of politics are dusty and old.
Yeah.
You know,
He's still worried about the commies coming in and taking over.
or their salary, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. They're always just going to be the opposition. So like when new discoveries are made in Egypt, you have a lot of like historians and Egyptologists, you know, both lay and professional Egyptologists will be like, I take umbrage with the fact that someone says there's a pool under the Sphinx, you know. Instantly they'll come out, they'll just be a critic of it. And oftentimes you hear the word anachronism with things where they'll be like, that's impossible. Like the Mormon religion has a lot of things where people that don't subscribe to Mormon faith say that there's anachronisms. Like, for example, and the list is long, but the interesting thing about it is for all the anachronisms that are listed, like for the Mormon religion in particular, with like the Book of Mormon, let's say, they keep getting knocked down.
Mhm.
So one of the anachronisms, and what anachronism means is it's sort of like saying, oh, I have a photo of a cell phone, a guy with a cell phone in his hand from 1920. You'd be like, that's not possible because that wasn't invented in that time. So an anachronism is an object or something taking place in purported to take place out of time or out of sync with the
think
timeline that we
one of the more
understand.
popular ones is horses.
Horses, right. So one of the OG anachronisms that people argued that debunked the Book of Mormon was they were like, well, they mention horses in the Book of Mormon, but there weren't horses in that area of
Until Spain brought them.
American continent.
Yeah, Spain originally recorded history says Spain brought the first horses to the Americas.
But they were here. And so we find archaeological evidence, paleontological evidence of horses being here. And so that anachronism gets knocked down. Another one is like, they're like, oh, well, Joseph Smith says that there was a gold book, golden plates in a stone box. And that's an anachronism because of the period of time that the Book of Mormon purports to take place. That wasn't how they did things. They didn't write on gold and they didn't put them in stone boxes. Come to find out now, like within the last couple of years, they've actually in Iran and other places in the Middle East, they've found gold plates in book form in stone boxes. And they're like, well, there's still 11 things on the list, but so the interesting thing about anachronisms is sometimes they stand the test of time, and they'll hold up. Other times it puts history on its head and then everybody has to kind of sit back and go, I mean, it doesn't make things true or not true. And I'm a firm believer in the fact that like I've never met anybody that's like, I'm holding out. I'm not going to become Mormon until you can prove to me horses, and then the horses thing comes and they're like, all right, baptize me. It never happens.
Yeah.
There's other reasons why people's hearts and minds are changed across all ideologies, but anachronisms are an interesting thing because it's, I don't know, historically it's sort of a told you so kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And Egyptology is full of it, Anyway, the Diamond Sutra is sort of one of those things where this area of the world, which we didn't know a lot about, it connected a lot of dots. And I also wonder why it's called the Diamond Sutra. I'm sure there's something there. I don't have the information.
I just looked up what sutra is, and it's just basically anything based in Sanskrit literature, or that follows certain grammar things, mostly relating to Hindu law or philosophy, and or Buddhism or Jainist scriptures. So
then Kama Sutra is just, what would you say? It's like a set of writings then?
It's a style.
Style of
and
writing?
Because it involves Hinduism, like I believe the Kama Sutra is like Hindu based.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's Hindu based and or Buddhist based and or Jainist based, it is a sutra. So it's just basically saying like it's a style.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So what is Kama?
Kama would be like what that book is. So it's kind of like saying sutra would be like, oh, this book of
so it'd be like saying cake sutra.
Yeah.
Book of cake recipes.
Yeah, book of cake. So like it's kind of like this style of writing about this thing.
So does Kama translate to sexy time?
I don't know. I don't even know how to spell it.
I just
looked up. I just said, what does sutra mean?
I can't remember if it's, I don't think it's, is it Karma Sutra? No, so I think it's Kama.
Kama. The first thing that comes up is Kamala Harris.
Try Karma. Karma Sutra? Karma?
It is Kama. Kama.
Kama. Okay.
So let's say what Kama definition. No, I didn't say karma.
Yeah.
I said Kama. It says it can refer to the Hindu god of love and desire.
Oh, okay. Well, that lines up then.
So it's like the scriptures of love and desire.
Yes. Okay. So if we had a book that we discovered in the Americas that was like that,
yeah, if it was
would be called the Dr. Ruth Sutra.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Dr. Ruth Westheimer. I loved her. All right, here's the next one on the list. The Oxyrhynchus papyri.
Is that an oxymoron?
Papyri. Sounds like it. It sounds like an oxymoron at a circus.
Yes.
The Oxyrhynchus papyri are a vast, vast collection of ancient manuscripts unearthed from an ancient garbage dump
Nice.
in Oxyrhynchus, Egypt. We know there's going to be conflict. By British archaeologist Bernard Pine Grenfell and Arthur Surridge Hunt. I didn't say his name in British parlance because I don't know. It only said British. Oh, no, they're both British, so I should have said his name. Arthur Surridge Hunt. Between 1896 and 1907. So these guys, wow, that's a long time. That's
Hunt is my paternal grandmother's maiden name. Or
Really?
mating name, yes.
Mating name.
Yeah.
So they unearthed these things over the course of 11 years. Wow. That's impressive to me, just that part, because imagine going over to Egypt and being like, hey, we're on to something. And then like you get to control that land, that area, the dig for 11 years, like from despots, from the government, from the Egyptian antiquities people, from thieves. Like that'd be hard. You'd have to have like full-time security. Anyway, dating from the 3rd century BC through late antiquity, the papyri have been lost to time because they were buried as waste, only to be rediscovered over 1900 years later. So the find contains hundreds of thousands of fragments, including lost plays, biblical texts, official Roman documents, and early Christian writings. This is a perfect place for me to inject something that I saw that I think is kind of interesting. Some of you may appreciate this. The Babysitters Club is being done as a musical now. It's going to be produced as a musical. And I don't know why. I feel like that's a vibe. That's a vibe right there. I feel like if there's something where that should have been a musical all along, Babysitters Club.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel like Babysitters Club and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I feel like both of those could become great musicals.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, back to the Oxyrhynchus papyri.
Is this like for a little while when I lived in a third world country, I would use newspapers as toilet paper. Is this kind of the same thing maybe going on?
Something. I mean, all we know is that they were discarded.
Yeah. I discarded a bunch of newspapers, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yours had poop on them.
Yeah. How do we know that these don't have poop on them?
We don't actually. Well, no, Chase. Actually, let me correct that. These may have been poopy papyri because only a small percentage were literary. The vast majority of the 1900, the vast collection were everyday records. So yeah, so it'd be like, it's like a receipt from Winco or the Egyptian Winco.
Life hack, you resort to newspapers, crumple it up, unravel, crumple, unravel, crumple, unravel about 20 times.
Soften it.
Then it becomes soft and you don't get pointy parts in your nethers.
Yeah.
Just life hack. Anyways.
Classify your assify.
Yep.
All right, so the significance of the Oxyrhynchus papyri lies in the unparalleled glimpse into ancient Mediterranean daily life. And these are the kinds of things that, we all kind of coo over, like when Pompeii was buried and they dug it back up and we found like graffiti on the wall where somebody's just calling somebody else a loser.
Or the one dude who was like pleasuring himself.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, forever remembered.
Yeah. He must have had like a heat kink or something. He's like, temperature's going up. Got to rub one out.
Just real quick. He was doing it. That was the ultimate time. Like, he's just like, I'm going to see if I can do this before the lava gets here. It was the ultimate speed run.
Makes you wonder what triggered that. Like, maybe he was like a Boy Scout and like something happened next to a campfire and he was like, I'm feeling the urge. Why? I smell smoke. Oh, there's embers coming through the window. Why do I feel aroused? Creepy. Come on, clean it up, Sam. All right, so the significance lies in the unparalleled glimpse into ancient Mediterranean daily life, language, and literature. Much of what is known about Greek comedy, ancient administration, and the transmission of texts comes from this discovery. So it continues to produce new findings that they they're still digging through this stuff a century later. So they're still going through it. All right, I got 2 more for you. The Archimedes palimpsest. Sounds like I mistyped it, but I didn't. I feel like it should be palimpsest, but it's Archimedes palimpsest. The Archimedes palimpsest is a 10th century Byzantine manuscript containing previously unknown works by the ancient Greek mathematician Archimedes. So let me just put this into perspective for you. The oldest language of record is Greek. That we
know.
put into the category of a language. Like that I don't know how they do it.
An
but
officially recognized language, not just something some random dude made up himself and taught to his, 30 cousins.
Yeah, and we've got other we've got other things that are like, man, that's older. But it wouldn't fall in the category of a developed language,
Mhm.
like the things that they find in in the middle of Turkey or something, digging up out of the ground.
Or in the middle of ham or roast
Ham
beef.
or turkey. Fun fact to know and share, Turkey is currently the hotbed in the world for male hair implants and transplants and hair regrowth. So if somebody
Are you speaking
is
from experience?
yeah, apparently it's the place to go. Like celebrities just disappear. They'll go to Turkey and get their hair done.
You know those like the toupees they like glue on your head and they like cut them and they last for whatever.
Yeah.
I was watching a video of one, and it was a little boy who had like severe burns,
Oh,
and he was really nervous. And the guy's like, "Hey, and just so you know," the guy's like, "I do this for a lot of celebrities." He's like, "A lot of celebrities." He's like, "You would be surprised how many celebrities sit in this chair." And the kid's like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
And the guy's just like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh," he just kept going, "A lot."
A lot.
And then he showed that he's wearing it too. He kind of peeled the edge back.
Oh, really?
And then put it back, put a little glue, and then pushed it back down.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
I
pretty
don't know
fun.
why. Like it's funny. Like it's sort of stigmatized amongst men, but we have whole cultures of women where wigs and changing out your hairs like in vogue. Like I
Yeah.
don't, but it seems like disingenuous it's like a man wearing like platform shoes or something.
Or putting a
like,
tube sock in his pants.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh, you should just be proud. You should try to build your pride in being a short king.
Yeah.
Like we should just suck it up, bald guy. Anyway, so these are previously unknown works by the ancient Greek mathematician Archimedes. The text was overwritten in the 13th century with a Christian prayer book. Sounds like something they'd do. Dumb math writings. Let me put this in here. Jesus said, who cares about Pythagorean theorem? Watch this.
Yeah.
Jesus said. I joke, but both are probably pretty important as far as historically significant. But sounds like something that they'd do. Text was overwritten in the 13th century with a Christian prayer book, a practice known as it's an actual practice called palimpsesting, due to the expense of parchment. Oh, now it all makes sense. I was thinking like this is kind of some like douchey Christian, like
Now they're just taking the paper, erasing it, and writing the next thing on it.
Yeah, they're reusing the parchment because it was expensive.
At one point in time, I want to say that paper was worth more than gold by weight.
Oh wow! Well,
And,
yeah, I could
so
see
was
that.
aluminum at one point too. But yeah, paper used to be worth more than gold by weight. But now it's like how many pieces of paper do you throw away junk mail like every single day that you never asked for?
Oh right, yeah. World War II, aluminum was in such high demand. A lot of the base metals were in such high demand. That's fun fact to know and share. One of the coin facts. There was a zinc penny that was produced 1942, 43. I believe those were the years. Penny was produced in zinc because copper was in such high demand for the war effort.
Yeah, for wiring and all that.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
needed it for
all the
stuff.
things. Also, one of my favorite devices, haven't bought for myself yet. It's on my Amazon wish list, but I'm super excited to get it. Picture this. You tear up all your cardboard Amazon boxes, keep them in a bin, keep that bin with some water in it. Everything gets really soggy. You're okay with it because the more stuff you throw in, you stir it like a witch every once in a while and you get everything just like pulpy.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this device, this little tiny box where you pour everything into the box. And then it's got a little handle and you push the handle and it clamps all the fibers down and makes a layer. Squeezes all the water out of it. And you do that and you can recycle your boxes into fire bricks.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool. I saw another one that it's like this.
It's like $50. I just haven't justified buying it yet.
Yeah, I saw this one. It's like a giant shredder looking thing. It's like almost like a paper shredder,
Yeah.
but it cuts certain patterns into the cardboard box that then you can use it as packing material.
Yeah, I've seen it. And you can like accordion it open
Yeah, you
and
accordion
close.
it open
Those are wild.
and shape things, and like you can use it as filler and packing material. Like it's really cool because it's like, oh, if you're moving and you need to pack your glassware and stuff, you have just take your old boxes
Oh, I
and
love that.
you don't have to go buy bubble wrap. And then once you're done, you can recycle it because cardboard's way easier to recycle than plastic.
You see, and like the press in this, like what you're talking about with the shredder, the press in my case, the brick press, $50.
Mm-hmm.
But me being lazy bones, I'm like, okay, well, okay, and I'll also just I'll get a cardboard shredder, cheapest one I can find, $900. They're smart.
Yeah.
They're smart because they're like, well, there's a lot you can do if we reduce this down to, something other than a rigid box. There's a lot you could do with it. You could literally resell it in 10 ways. So shredders, siping machines. Another one, like really easy to print stickers. Like I bought a eco solvent printer for $3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Prints beautiful stickers on vinyl.
Well, when it cuts them out.
And then it cuts them out just fine. So it does all that.
Sometimes it cuts them out just fine. Sometimes Chase has to buy his own sticker just from Vinyl Disorder.
That's right. That's right. Yes. I think the one I got must have been dropped because the platen, like the far left won't cut the stickers properly. And I'm really mad about it, but it's outside of warranty now. And I'm probably just going to sell it for $500. But, all of that can be done. And then the last step of sticker making, which is you want the sticker to be durable. So you want you put a very thin, clear lamination on top. The laminator for stickers, $5,000.
Yeah.
I mean, you can buy a hand crank one, but the results are so questionable.
Yeah.
Not professional.
It's like when you were sent to the teacher's lounge to laminate something. And it always just like, there's always folds and wrinkles and those just always looked like garbage.
Yeah. It's crazy. All right. So I'm going to rewind just a bit because I need to say I'm sorry to the Christians that were overriding these. Well, sort of. I mean, you did a bad thing. You shouldn't have, we get it. You were trying to recycle, but you were recycling Archimedes' writings. So maybe a little bit of blame on you. So the text was overwritten in the 13th century with a Christian prayer book, practice known as palimpsesting, due to the expense of parchment, which we covered, causing the original material to be lost from view. In 1906, Danish scholar Johann Ludwig Heiberg recognized erased Greek writings beneath the prayers. However, the text was only fully revealed with advanced imaging techniques in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. The palimpsests content advanced modern knowledge of mathematics, introducing treatises on infinity, mechanics, and combinatorics previously lost. Imagine that. Imagine we're like the advanced society that we are. We can like freeze magnets in the middle of the air and send people to other planets. And then we unerase some of Archimedes stuff and we're like, dang.
We could have been doing this forever ago.
We didn't know that. So So this provided insight into thought processes and technology of one of history's greatest mathematicians, directly influencing modern mathematics, physics, and computer science. So what a mind. What a
Yeah.
mind. What a mind. Okay, I got one more for you. Saint Cuthbert Gospel. So the Saint Cuthbert Gospel, which is not something I want to say a lot, written in Latin in the early 8th century, is Europe's oldest surviving intact book. Placed in the coffin of Saint Cuthbert, an Anglo-Saxon saint, in 698 AD, it remained hidden with his body as monks fled Viking raids and later resettled in Durham. When Cuthbert's coffin was opened in 1104 AD, the Gospel, the book, was discovered, remarkably intact due to the protective burial and careful stewardship over centuries. It changed hands through private collections for centuries before its acquisition by the British Library in 2012. Beyond its exquisite binding and preservation, its rediscovery informs not only medieval bookmaking, but also the transmission of biblical texts, the Christianization of Britain, and European cultural heritage. Its survival offers unique evidence of bookbinding, materials, and monastic culture during the early Middle Ages. So you may or may not know this, but during the Middle Ages, one of the big tasks of monasteries was they were human Xerox machines.
Mm-hmm.
So monks would spend countless hours transcribing copies of records, and depending on the client, they could be just like, well, I'll whip one out for you. Yeah, that's fine. You want the Gospel of Mark? Okay, well, what do you want? Just black and white? You want black and white, or you want me to like paint some gold on it and some pictures?
Some pictures.
Yes, because you'd have these
Gilded. That's what gilded is.
Yeah, so you have manuscripts, and then you have what are called illuminated manuscripts. And manuscripts are the black and white, I got to get one out by Thursday kind of ones. And then illuminated manuscripts were delegated to certain monks who had exacted this artistic style of creating all of the filigree and all of the decoration of the font and all the frames and everything on these.
I've just been looking at pictures of this book, and it's in really good shape.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, that's what I brought. I thought I'd brung that.
Like you brunked it?
I brunked it.
You brunked it pretty hard.
Yep. Anyway, next episode, we will bring back Music Tuesday on Thursday again. And I have some movies that I've watched lately that I thought I'd let you know about. A couple TV series that I think are worth getting into. Some I've started, some I wrapped up. I'll tell you one. I'll tell you one right now. I just watched one. Loved it. I loved it. Black Rabbit. Have you heard of this one?
I've heard of it. I have not seen it, nor do I even know it. I just have heard the name.
So it's a TV miniseries, so you don't have to worry about getting too involved. Jason Bateman's
and that
in
British
it. Jude
guy.
Law. Yep. Jude Law, Cleopatra Coleman. She's been in a couple things. The rest of the cast, I got to be honest, I didn't really recognize.
Cleopatra Coleman's from Last Man on Earth. That's a good show.
Okay.
That's a comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a funny show. Loved that show.
It sucks because that's one of those shows that like they just got canceled out of.
Yeah.
So it's like there's no ending to it. It's literally just like cliffhanger, done.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. Funny show, man. Also a show where it was like there was connective tissue between the episodes, but I also felt like everyone was just taking big bong rips and writing this show.
Yeah.
Like so all over.
One of my
the place.
favorites is Will Ferrell's like 3-minute cameo in it.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere. He's just like, is that Will Ferrell? And then he's like, he's gone. Okay.
So if you're hankering for a something that you're a bit non-committal and you don't want to commit to a bunch of seasons of something, Black Rabbit opens well. I can confidently say there wasn't an episode of it where it ended and I'm like, I don't know if I want to continue. I was hooked. Every single episode, I was like, okay. But it wasn't, but another nice thing about it, there was something, sort of, speaking of alcohol, which I don't consume, if you imagine an alcoholic beverage where you're like, you drink one and you're like, I want another one. I want another one. You know, like something like maybe a Ripple or a Pinot. You know, you're like, I think I can handle one more. It's just enough that you have one and you're like, okay, I could watch another one, but I'm also okay. You'll feel like you can go to bed. You don't have to binge the whole thing, is what I'm saying. It's like Fireball. What I assume Fireball is for people. It's like you're like, wow. Yeah, but I'm going to give myself a minute. I'm assuming. Suddenly all of our Fireball addicts come out. They're like, no, I need more. Well, you can binge the whole thing if you want. It's like 10 episodes. Or watch them over the course of a couple nights and savor the flavor. So anyway, Black Rabbit. Can't go wrong with that one. It's pretty good. Anyway, also, I don't know if you're like, I don't know. I can watch pretty much anything. I probably shouldn't be this way, but I can watch about anything and my stomach's pretty, I got an iron constitution. My wife isn't. And so the compromise that we make is there is a service out there in case you're ever like, yeah, it's too strong for me, a certain series or something. There's a service out there called VidAngel, which is actually kind of cool because you sign up for VidAngel and then you connect your streaming services to it, like Netflix and Apple and whatever else, Prime or whatever else you got. And then all of the shows that you'd watch through those streaming services are available through VidAngel, but you can go into your settings and this is a bit awkward. This is the awkward part, is you can set the filters. So for example, it will say, nudity will be the category. And then you get to go in and check or uncheck the nudity you're okay with. It gets a little detailed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a wiener or two.
It gets pretty okay, but check
but
this.
no bare backs.
Exactly. This is where it gets kind of funny is like I'm setting it up for my mom. And as you can imagine, the swearing or the vulgarity language category, quite robust. You could check all and then it just gets rid of everything. But anytime like some teeny bopper said like, oh my God, or something like that, it would be bleeped out.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to go through and you're like, I'm okay with that. Like hell, you could get rid of hell if you wanted. So I'm sitting there setting it up for my mom. And nowadays, like it used to be different, but nowadays they'll asterisk out certain letters, but the word is still obvious.
Yeah.
And so I'm going through it with my mom and she's telling me which ones she wants checked or unchecked. And she's like, what is C*NT? I can't even figure what, can't? That's not a swear word. And so like, to confirm, I've got to kind of like whisper it, you know, to my mom. The best, I'm so all over the place, but if you want to see a hilarious version of that kind of like, so I'm like telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, the words, I have to say it. And she's like, oh my gosh, There's a TV show, another one. I'm going to give you another one. If you haven't seen, now there's two out there, so you can't get them wrong. They're both good, but there's Miranda, this TV show Miranda, which is the US version. It's a comedian. She wears a lot of lipstick and it's a spinoff of her social media persona, Miranda Sings. Hilarious, but that's not the one I'm talking about. There's a British one with a British comedian named Miranda. That's her real name, and she's got to be 6'1". Like she's a stout gal, not fat, but just like she's there. When she's in the room, it's hard to it's like when they have a tall actor and then they put him with like Tom Cruise, and you're like, so Miranda, and she's hilarious. She's hilarious.
She's got a neck like a frickin' linebacker, dude.
Yes. Yeah. But the beauty of it is she leans into it. It's so good. Okay. And then her best friend is this like sprightly little blonde girl.
Uh-huh.
And they're like till I die best friends. Right. And it's just, it's okay. But the thing that reminded me when I'm checking the boxes with my mom is I'm whispering all these words. I'm like, no, Mom, the word is bestiality. And she's like, I don't know what you're saying, And I'm like, it's bestiality, Mom, it's bestiality. And she's like, oh my gosh, So on the show, on this British show, Miranda, which is so worth watching, Miranda's mom is this like elitist, like truffle of a person. And she does this thing where she doesn't want to say inappropriate things, but like if she had to say like, she was raped in the closet. If she had to say that, she would go, she was raped in the closet. Like she blurs out the wrong words when she says it.
What show is that? You put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It is so funny because the show's so good. Maybe I just want to do a podcast on TVs and movies because I get so excited about them.
Yeah, I would too. My problem is that I always just rewatch and rewatch the same things.
There is a handful that I do that with. Honestly, you know what I'd love to do? I'd love to get like a old school TV, like a CRT monitor with a VHS on it, and play them next to me, so I don't have to like pay attention to them. But I would like. I'm a sucker for the whole Alien series, especially like I love Covenant. I like the ones that people don't see are the mainstream ones, but I agree with you. There's a handful, but not every movie I can watch and rewatch.
Yeah, I have a handful that I do all the time, but
like if you had to walk onto an island with two movies, what are your movies?
First one's The Goonies, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next one would be Hard.
Hard?
No, Hard to Decide.
I was like, I don't know that one. I know Walk Hard.
And there's also the movie Get Hard.
Yes.
That one would be difficult. I don't know. It hurts to even try to pick one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You feel like you'd be leaving a lot of babies behind.
Yeah. But so if you gave me the option of like two, I'm like, the first one's The Goonies, and then
okay, how about this? You take The Goonies, you can pick or how about this? You can pick two franchises. Does that help or hinder?
Two franchises. I'd say Lord of the Rings. I was a Tolkien nerd as a kid.
Okay.
So yeah, Lord of the Rings, like that whole thing. And then the other franchise would probably be the Dark Knight trilogy, the Christian Bale one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine would be, if I have to go to an island, mine would be the Alien franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to call it, here's why too, Chase. I'm going to say anything by Guy Ritchie. I get to take all Guy Ritchie's movies. Why, Chase? Because I'm going to an island, and guess what? I am making myself the lord of the island. I'm giving myself a royal title. So I'm taking all the Guy Ritchie movies with me.
You know what? I'll switch out the Batman one. I'm just going to say I would take all of Wes Anderson's work.
Okay. All right. I'm going to, because I'm the Lord, I'm taking all the Alien franchise, the Guy Ritchie movies. I'll take Wes Anderson as well, including Bottle Rocket, which I'll bet you haven't still seen.
No, I'm just working my way up to renting it because
Okay.
I gotta pay money.
You do?
I'm like everywhere I've seen it. It used to be like the only place I can find it right now is on Amazon Prime, but I have to rent it.
Oh, I'll just share my Plex movie server link with you, and you can watch
Okay.
it. Oh, I didn't know you were. I didn't know that. I didn't know things were that bad. I didn't know you were on the struggle bus that
No,
bad.
I'm a cheapskate. I'm a freaking cheapskate, dude. That's one of the biggest traits I ever got from my dad. My dad was raised by a single mom, and so like he carried a lot of that with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I learned a lot of that too.
Yeah. I'm also taking the Lord of the Rings series with me. I'm also
Mhm.
taking Harry Potter because I like it.
Minus
And
the first two movies
Minus
when
the
they were
first
all
two?
still learning how to act.
Oh yeah,
Me-
the acting definitely got better.
Me and my wife just watched the first one because every October we'll watch all of the Harry Potters. Like we have that tism.
Yeah.
And there was just one scene where like the kid who plays Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, is just sitting there, and it's almost like he was like, "Oh wait, I'm an actor!" Like in the middle of the scene between two other people, and he just kind of goes, he just kind of pops back, and goes,
Yeah.
and then looks right back down, like, and then it was like, "Okay, I'm done. I did my acting for the scene."
Yep.
It's just like he looks like a little robot sometimes, just like, I'm doing acting now.
The other franchise I would take, which is, it's hard to say it's a franchise, but it is an acting troupe. You might have heard of, if you haven't seen it. This is Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of people don't know that is an acting troupe.
Mhm.
The people that are in This is Spinal Tap are in a bunch of shows together. So that'd be Catherine O'Hara, Eugene Levy, Christopher Guest. And if you don't know who Christopher Guest was the six-fingered man, not the five-fingered man.
Yeah.
Like I said before. Jennifer Coolidge, she's the one that's like, we can talk or not talk for hours.
Like you could comparison people might understand is like how there's a lot of reoccurring actors in Adam Sandler movies.
Yes.
Like
Acting
there's
troupe.
a lot of reoccurring characters
Yes.
and actors and actresses.
Yeah, so all Parker Posey, she's there. Michael McKean, who was on Better Call Saul
Mm-hmm.
forever. He's his brother. John Michael Higgins, can't forget him. Well, I showed up to America with a dance belt and a tube of chapstick. Just a great, but anything with them in it. You know, Best in Show, This is Spinal Tap. Oh, the list. There's such a list. But anyway.
Just turn it up to 11.
Turn it up to 11. Oh, there's another Spinal Tap movie coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited
And did
about
you
that.
see, dude, I'm pretty excited for Spaceballs and
Yes.
hearing that Rick Moranis is coming out of retirement. Like he hasn't been in anything in like 20 years on purpose, right?
Yeah.
Like he retired. Like it wasn't that he was like written out of Hollywood. He was like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's coming out just for Spaceballs.
I am so excited for that. And it's one of those ones where I'm pretty sure it's going to, well, Goonies, there's a reboot.
That's
right?
been rumored forever.
Yeah, but the director just said, no.
Yeah,
The creative director, was it Spielberg?
I think so. Here's a fun fact. Did you know
posted.
that Sean Astin had the original Goonies map, like the one that spent most of the time on screen, the one they didn't burn and stuff, like the original one? He left that at his mom's house when he moved out. Like he left a bunch of memorabilia, and he went back like 4 years later to get it, and it was his mom had thrown away everything.
He said that he's lost like a ton of memorabilia because he'll just forget it.
Yeah.
It's
but
so funny.
yeah, his mom was just like, "What's this trash?" And she cleaned his whole room out and just got rid of all these all this memorabilia from movies and stuff, like costumes, like props, all this stuff. She just chucked it in the trash.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think we just resolved that neither one of us could go to an island without like maybe like a shopping cart or two, or maybe a couple of those Costco flatbed carts.
Yeah. I need like a 12 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do I have a satellite uplink? Because I'll be okay if I'm,
Yeah. I need all seasons of The Office. I need Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, I gotta say before we go, like I watched The Paper. I don't know if I mentioned this, the spinoff, The Office spinoff.
I'm scared to watch it.
I won't say anything then. Not that I would taint your perspective of it, but
Yeah, I've been afraid to watch it because I want it to be good so bad, but I have a feeling it's not.
I think the criticism I'll say, because I don't want to spoiler anything, is I like Oscar as a character. He's like sixth on the list of even like what I would consider the second tier characters on The Office
Yeah.
that I would think should front run a spinoff.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is he's on it, but he doesn't want to be on it. Like, I'll say that. It's not much of a spoiler because, like, every time the camera hits him, he's like, no, we're not. No, I'm not doing this.
I saw the preview and it was
Okay.
like, he's like, no, we're not doing it. And then it had a little thing that said, actually, when you signed your original contract, it was for life.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's funny parts to it. I'm a little sad that, that he's the only one maybe that they
Yeah.
brought back. Phyllis shows up on the OA, and I mentioned the OA before, a TV series which like I'd highly recommend watching the OA. And you see Phyllis in a whole, like, as an actress, you see her excellent. Like, it's weird to see Phyllis.
Well, The Office was her first gig, and you know how she got that, right?
She just kept showing up like Creed, right?
Well, no, she was part of the production crew.
Oh.
And they needed someone to fill in when they were doing a script reading. And so she read for Phyllis. And they're like,
You're Phyllis.
We want you to do, like, you are Phyllis.
Really?
Like, when she was literally just doing a round table and doing a script read just for proof of, where they do a read through to see if it will land. And they're like, do you want a job on the other side of the camera? And then there's Creed, who literally was just, he did like a casting call for the pilot because they have a bunch of people who aren't even in the rest of the episodes. And he just kept showing up. They weren't paying him. He just kept showing up. And the best part is everything he says in that show happened to him in his real life. Grassroots. Yeah. The karaoke scene, he was singing his own song in a karaoke scene, like a song he wrote and produced. Going and acting in China, he did that. Like, all the most random crap that he brings up, he did in real life. That's how crazy his real life is.
I just love that the blog that the temp set up for him.
Yeah.
It's like, you can find it at creedthoughts.blog.doc.
.doc. Even for the internet, it's pretty bad.
So good. All right, well, that's a good high note to leave on. So we're out of here, people. Hugs and soup. And just, speaking, hug the merch you've gotten from us, because there may never be any more.
It's going to be extremely limited edition, and you have no idea how limited.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, soup.
Bye.
So soup, let's start the show.